One break coming up next on Heels and Quads.
And all the people here tonight.
Welcome back, Heels and Quads Media here on YouTube. I'm Tommy, and I'm back with number 4, finally, of my Van Halen ranking. Now, this is getting tougher and tougher as the albums go by. That's why the album ranking videos are taking me so long. Well, one of the reasons. I'm also doing other videos, but it gets tough with picking from the Dave era because that's my favorite version of Van Halen, and every time I think I have them in order, it changes. So I finally just said I have to go with my gut and go with this album at number 4. Depending on the day, this could also be number 1. Music is very dependent on a person's mood. Sometimes you want something a little darker, sometimes you want a little more of a party album, sometimes you want, melancholy, sad record. This is number 4. This is an album that I will wholeheartedly admit, this is one that I didn't get into as much as a teenager or a younger lad growing up. This is one that I've more recently been turned on to. I mean, I knew the album. I'd had the album on CD or cassette at one point, but it's just not one that I played a ton until the last couple of years. And now, like I said, it could be easily number 1 on any given day, dependent on mood, of course. So, at number 4, released April 29th, 1981, Van Halen, Fair Warning. And I know in the comments somebody will say, oh, how could you rank that at number 4? It's my favorite Van Halen album. I get it. But there's also some people who say that 5150 is their favorite Van Halen album. It's all a matter of opinion. It's all a matter of your musical taste. It's all a matter of your mood. And today, I'm putting Fair Warning at number 4. Before we get started, like this video, comment down below your rankings. Tell me about where you would rank Van Halen's Fair Warning. Is it your number 1? Let me know in the comments. And of course, subscribe and like this video. I've had it sitting at 4. It went from 4 to 3 back and forth the last couple of weeks. But I feel like my number 3 that I have right now is number 3 on my list, my personal list. Again, personal preference. It's at number 3 for a reason, and I think it's because I just listened to it more. I have listened to Fair Warning so much recently, at work, at home, spinning the vinyl, listening to it with AirPods, just trying to get different vibes from it, and it just, right now, I can't rank it higher than 4th. So let's go through it. This is known more as the darker Van Halen album. It was the slowest selling Van Halen album during the David Lee Roth era. It still sold 2 million copies, and I'm sure that number is way higher now. Especially since Eddie's passing, I feel like, the Van Halen fans kind of came out of the woodwork all of a sudden. But, it opens with Mean Street. Great riff. Just going off of, I don't want to give away my least favorite, which least favorite is so hard to pick one out of this album, because all of these songs are good, and this is going off the back, which isn't in order, but Mean Street, so this is Love, cool little, it's almost got, to me, it almost has a Jim Dandy kind of vibe, and I got hell on a short that I made from a discussion we had had on a live about the debut album, and I was telling Levi about how Dave kind of stole his look from Jim Dandy from Black Oak, Arkansas, and so This Is Love kind of has that Jim Dandy to the rescue kind of, it's got that, just that vibe from it. Push Comes to Shove, super cool funky bass line. Dave's kind of reserved, and it's just kind of like, well, he kind of always talk sings, but it's just like his tone is just lower and it's more reserved than, it's not as many squeals. It's just kind of like it's just kind of like whisper talk singing. I don't know. Anyways, we'll move on. Center Swing, super cool song. Unchained, classic, absolute radio classic. Everybody. I feel like Unchained is a Van Halen signature song. That's one of those songs that come on, which, I mean, kind of any Van Halen song comes on the radio, you know it's Van Halen, but Unchained specifically, I call that a signature song. Unchained, Panama, Jump, of course, Ain't Talking About Love, Running with the Devil, Jamie's Crying, so many others. But I that's like not so much a hit like on the charts, but like in the fans' hearts, like number 8 on the charts, number 1 in your hearts. Dirty Movies, another super cool, like, you know, prostitute song, kind of like Kiss Strutter. Hear About It Later. Hear About It Later to me always felt like the big brother of Finish What You Started from the Sammy era. Sunday Afternoon in the Park, cool way to kind of like start bringing it towards the end of the album, interlude, kind of solo, instrumental, and then One Foot Out the Door, closing it out. But yeah, I mean, produced by Ted Templeman, of course. That's Van Halen's go-to. In the beginning. There it is. There's the back. Where's my camera? Least favorite song from this album? Super tough. But, man, I'd have to go with Hear About It Later. Just because I feel like if I was a new fan getting into Van Halen and I'd heard everything already, I would kind of feel like Hear About It Later and Finish What You Started kind of go hand in hand. And it's not like it's a throwaway song, it's a cool song, but just if I have to pick one, I'll go with Hear About It Later. Favorite song, like I said, signature song, Unchained. It's such a classic, and when I hear it to this day, like, it's one of my favorite Van Halen songs. I don't care that everybody knows that one. I'm not trying to be, like, against the grain and, like, whoa, I can't like that because everybody likes that one. It's a good freaking song. That's why everybody likes it. And, you know, come on, Dave, give me a break. One break coming up. It's such a cool little breakdown that, like, from the studio, like, it was just something that didn't feel like it was done before. Or since, really. Honorable mention, I'll go with Push Comes to Shove. Because I feel like Michael Anthony's bass line alone is so funky in that song that it deserves to be mentioned again. It is one of the coolest bass lines in all of Van Halen, and there's a lot. The bottom end on this entire album is so, like, audible and good. And there's like cool little things that Eddie does just playing rhythm along with Michael and Alex. And Dave sounds great on this album. I mean, as far as like dark, yeah, I get it. It's kind of grimy, kind of gritty sounding, but the production value is great. So it's not like it's a shitty sounding album. It's a great sounding album. It's just the overall tone of the album is darker. So I get it. But yeah, so number 4, Fair Warning, Van Halen, 1981. And my goal is to have this done, the entire ranking, by the end of the first week of June, because I'm going to start my Bon Jovi ranking when the new album comes out. I'm going to do a review of the new Bon Jovi Forever. Then I'm going to start ranking the Bon Jovi albums. Stay tuned. Coming soon, at some point next week, number 3 on my Van Halen ranking list. Have you figured out what it is? Do you know my 3, 2, and 1? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you subscribe, like this video, comment again, tell me your ranking if you haven't done it on a previous video, and if you have already, put it in here too so people can see it. I want the audience to be a part of this. I think it's a fun idea. I love ranking videos. I love watching other people's ranking videos as well. And I don't get my opinion swayed either way. And I think if you're a true music fan, you're not going to have your opinion swayed based on what somebody else says on YouTube. But it's cool to see somebody else's opinion and kind of see how they feel and why they feel that way. So let me know in the comments. Of course, tell your friends, tell your enemies, and I'll see you next time.